Dance. I think that probably several of you in the room know the story about Wildfire Dance quite intimately because you participated in it. But I was thinking about it this morning when I got up, and I didn't want to get out of bed because it's another cold day, although not as cold as some of the other days. But I think it's hopeful to talk about Wildfire Dance this morning because for me it's like, oh, it's a sign of spring. Parade season is coming. And so I'm looking forward to hearing what Mary has to share with us this morning. I met Mary a couple years ago, I think it was, at a luncheon that we held in Conneaut, and I had the opportunity to sit next to her and learn a little bit about Wildfire Dance that day. And I have to say that I was amazed and really learned a lot that day about something that I thought I knew something about, but found out that I really didn't know anything about. So you're going to have that same experience this morning. I think she's probably going to talk about Wildfire Dance, emphasis on dance, but I learned that day that she is really quite brilliant entrepreneur and business person, and I was really, really impressed. So please join me in welcoming Mary Murtha.
Thank you, Dean Stocker. And welcome, everybody. My daughter reminded me this morning that our clocks go forward on Sunday, and it's going to be dark when we get up. It's another thing to brighten your day. I am Mary Murtha, and my daughter, Katie Stansberry, is here with me today. And there's many familiar faces in the audience that people that I've had their children dance with me. So it's nice to have a room full of people that kind of know. It's interesting when Dean Stocker said that spring reminds her of parade season, because we're just talking about how people always think of wildfire and parades as synonymous. And actually parades are such a small part of what we do. And like she said, it's what you think you know that you really don't know. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about my story, and I know you all have stuff to do as I do, and so we're going to make this quick. The history of Wildfire Dance. Actually, I never took dance lessons. When I was growing up, baton was all the craze. We had the Dorettes and Angels Twirling Stars, for those of you that remember. And there was nothing other than baton for kids. My first taste of dance was to try out for the Conneaut High School drill team, and I made it. And then I made captain my senior year, and that's when I started to choreograph. Mary Zapparelli was on the drill team with me. I have pictures of her in boots if anybody wants to see those. So my first inkling that I wanted to do this, my senior year, I told my parents that I thought that maybe after I graduated, I might want to start a drill team for kids, which I did, and it was called the Kelly Cadets. We marched in Conneaut parades for 2 years until I was 20 years old. I also worked at web manufacturing full-time at that time, and I taught piano lessons 2 days a week and taught my drill team 2 days a week. I got engaged, and my husband said, that'll be enough of that. You have to cook and clean. So he let me keep the day job, but the drill team had to go. And so after we got married, we lost our first child when he was 6 months old. And I quit my job to stay home. And so I was kind of at a loss at that point in my life. And so that's when Wildfire Dance was born. I wasn't sure what to do, so we sent home a flyer to Monroe Elementary kids. You guys remember Monroe Elementary? It's a very small little school out in the country. And about 20 kids signed up, and they liked it. So this is our first review. It was in someone's yard. We did a 6-week session, and we did, thank God I'm a country boy, you can see the bales of hay, and the kick line is amazing. So some of you may notice the little boy. Does anyone know who the little boy in the middle is? With the hat on? I'll give you a hint, he just took over Paul Demshar's business. That's JJ. He was our banner boy. And you'll notice Kroger's, that's downtown Conneaut. So things have changed in 34 years. After about 10 years of teaching locally, my girls were getting restless with just doing parades. And so in 1990, we started a competitive team for the high school girls. And that has really been when the business took off. We've been really successful. The creativity, I don't know if you can see, but those are actually platforms we built so the girls look like they're ice skating. Just flipping through, that's when we did the Miss Ohio pageant. We were the featured dancers, and I choreographed that year for Miss Ohio in 1995. And a lot of what has made us successful is taking dance to a new level with creative choreography, costuming, and concepts, which is what I like to do the best. When I graduated from high school, I probably would have gone to college for art. And since back then, if you weren't engaged by 20, you were getting really nervous. So I didn't go to college, but I ended up using my art ability in costume design, which we design most of our costumes, and choreography. My teams have been really successful over the last 6 years. We won the gold medal in pong. This is the Citrus Bowl game we did in Florida 2 years ago. So again, it's just about using the talents that God gives you to make something a little bit more, make your life full, and also give back to the community. So I've been really fortunate that I've been able to do that through Wildfire Dance. So after the competition team really was consuming my life, as my two daughters were growing up, they were part of it, and then they graduated and went on to college, and I got bored. So that's when I started expanding Wildfire Dance into a business. We opened a second location in Ashtabula in 2004, and then we opened Geneva, Madison, Concord, and finally Westlake and in South Carolina. How did we do this? We actually built a website, and the website has all of the choreography online. So we film the choreography lesson by lesson. So every routine is taught in 8-lesson format. So an instructor can log in through a unique password, learn the choreography, and teach the same things that we're teaching here. We have about 12 instructors using this right now. And running programs, and we give them pie charts so that they know, what to do, and that helps us to maintain the quality of the program. So this year we decided to go one step further, and we added a STARS program, which is a competitive dance team for our younger kids. Up till now, Wildfire has been a 1-day-a-week class for kids that do a lot of different things, but we were finding that kids were starting to, even little kids were starting to want more. So we introduced the STARS program, and we thought we'd get 20 kids our first year, and we got 45. So we had to split it into 2 groups. We've been competing locally and also doing some community things. This is when, at Christmas, we did a tour of all the nursing homes and went around and did Christmas routines. And recently we've been competing, so you can see our youngest group with their Motown wigs on. And they've just risen to a level we never thought we would get in year 1. Kathy Pate has been helping me coach this season and has been really excited to see. We've both been on this journey with these little kids that they'll say, "Is your head to the left or to the right on count 5?" And we're like, "I can't even believe you're asking me that." So, and we noticed too, what's really been great is they're able to sustain a 2-hour class, and not one of them says, "When are we done?" And so their ability to focus and stay on task has been really great. So obviously there's another phase to Wildfire, and that's youth development. Our dance lessons, obviously they learn how to dance, but their life lessons, that's the thing we really pride ourselves on. Setting goals and working towards it, focus. Team is always first with Wildfire. responsibility, accountability. Responsibility is you can't perform if you forgot your socks. And they say to me, well, my mom forgot to pack my pom-poms. And I always say, your mom's not on the team. You're on the team. So accountability is when they don't win and they say, well, that wasn't fair. I tell them, then, well, you should have been better. And then you would have won. So good sportsmanship. They're friends with many teams from other cities. Leadership, we have officers that have to work with the girls. Confidence and time management is probably the biggest one. These girls, most of them are honor students, and they're able to, we practice 5 to 7 hours a week, plus their cheerleaders and their honor students. And I think sometimes our youth has become so tied to cell phones and social media, and we have to find some ways to get them away from that stuff. Just when they get out in the world, they're not going to be able to handle everything that's going to throw at them. This is just a comment on a Facebook post from one of our little New Stars girls, and she said she's seen her self-confidence go through the roof. So that's another big part of what we're doing. Representing Ashtabula County. This is where we've been. We've performed at Disney World, Universal, Alabama Theater. Just done CAS half times for the past 10 years. So we've been everywhere, and whenever we go places, people say, where are you from? And when I tell them, they say, how do you get that many good dancers from there? We grow them. These are a few statistics about the program. It's been 34 years. Next year we'll celebrate our 35th anniversary, and hopefully we always have our alumni come back and dance. So those of you that start doing your stretches. That's the Wildfire Super. About 18,000 costumes, 7,000 students. We won over 2,000 trophies and 25 medals. The medals go to the highest scoring routine at the contest. And I've never duplicated a routine in 34 years, so I probably choreographed about 1,250 routines over the span. So, shall we dance? That means it's your turn to ask questions. But anyway, it's you can make a business out of anything as long as you're passionate about it, and this is something I love. I still get excited when I hear a song on the radio that I want to choreograph to, or and I get excited to go in and tell the girls, and they scream when they hear we're doing a certain routine. So not everybody, I'm sure all of you are very passionate about what you do, but not everyone in this world is. They go to work every day, put in their 8 hours, and they go home. So it's just been a blessing that I've been able to do something that has been this fulfilling for me. So, Mary, you got a question? She said she was going to ask a question.
I sort of going to heckle her for what she was. No, I have any questions. I do have a comment though. I'm just so proud of you.
Thank you.
I got a question.
Okay.
You, with all your locations in Ohio, what made you decide to go to South Carolina?
Actually, it's a former student of mine that was on the competition team. She was living in Cleveland, and she did it in Cleveland. And her husband got transferred, and she said, can I do it in South Carolina? With the website, the way it's set up, anyone could, access the choreography from anywhere. So she has about 70 students. Yeah, she's doing well. And choreography takes a long time, and it's not really something that's easy or easy to do well, because it's very, sometimes I'll work a half an hour on 2 8 counts just to get everything to be correct, So if someone can use that, just makes sense. So if you know anybody out there that wants to start a dance program, have them. Bert, you had a question?
For a while, you started a marketing program for like a home dance routines thing. Do you still do that or not?
Are you talking about my toy?
Yes.
Yeah, we actually developed a toy also. In 2005, I had a toy on the market called It's Showtime. And it was a dance routine with props and a kit. We were on Target.com for about 6 years. So, yeah, we did that until the lead paint thing came. And then they told us we had to get each of our SKUs tested for lead paint, and it was gonna be $10,000 per SKU for testing. So we said, okay, that's time to be done with the toy industry. But it was fun. I think everything is a journey. I think I learned a lot doing that. I always tell everybody I'm going to college now. I skipped it when I was young, but you just keep challenging yourself. And I hear so many people say, oh, I don't want a smartphone, I don't want to learn that. And if you don't learn and you don't try new things, you die inside. So I was thinking of a story. We were at the circuit we compete with is called Showcase America, and the man that ran it was an old color guard, like did the rifles, and he came from that background. And he started the circuit, and it evolved from drill teams with flags and color guards into dance. And he had to evolve into that world too. Well, when hip hop came on the stage, he was like, at first they didn't want to embrace it, and then they knew they had to. So I remember sitting at a meeting with him, and it was about this many people in the meeting, all women, and he was about 60, maybe 67-year-old man, and he's teaching us how you thrust your body for hip hop and explaining the movements of hip hop to us. And it was so cute that he was like, you know, he was willing to, you know, if this is going to make our business better, then we're going to do this. So there's just been a lot of great people that have.
I do have a question.
I do, you do.
How many people, or how many of your students now work for you?
That teach?
Yeah.
Well, Katie teaches, Jackie Eaton, Marcy, Lisa, Tony Raisin, Teresa, Maria, well, all of them. Probably all 12 instructors that are teaching right now are former students. Yeah. Yes?
Mary, the branches out from Conneaut, do they all have competition teams?
No.
They don't? So
They don't.
only here has the competition team? Okay.
Yeah, they just have the younger students.
Okay.
That's a whole different beast. It's, with younger kids, you can teach them, 1 hour a week, but with the competition team, like I said, they're 5 to 7 hours a week, so it's a lot of time. And people don't make any money, so they don't want to do it. If they're doing it for a job, it's more profitable to teach the 3 and 4-year-olds, for them, so. Yes?
Is the physical activity that the kids get when they're involved with Wildfire, is that an added benefit, or is that one of the primary reasons why they get involved?
I think it's an added benefit. If you would ask if that's the reason, they'd tell you that it's one of the things they hate. Because, especially my high school team, we push them to exhaustion. And we had a big discussion on Monday because we made them do their high kick routine 4 times full out. And they can't breathe, and they're, and we're trying to explain to them we're building up stamina. But kids are lazy today. I don't know if you guys have noticed that. And I still, and my daughter, they love Facebook, but I tell them that all the social media is killing, it's killing the kids because they sit and they want to be connected to that, and they're not getting up doing things anymore. So my junior high team has 36 girls, and my senior high team has 18. And you lose that many girls, and a lot of it is because it's hard. It's probably as hard or harder than any sport that they would do, and it's year round. So it's pretty intense dance. They do pom, hip hop, jazz, kick. It's not easy. So
When's your next competition?
Saturday. We leave on Friday. We have practice today and tomorrow. We leave on Friday for Cincinnati. We compete all day in Cincinnati on Saturday, then we drive to Dayton Sunday morning and compete all day in Dayton on Sunday.
Big weekend.
It is a big weekend. Well, I was originally supposed to speak in May, and Laura moved me to March because it'd be less busy, but that didn't happen. Yes?
You said competition is expensive, and obviously you're doing a lot of traveling. How are you supporting the team?
We have a fan club, the Wildfire Fan Club. You've probably seen them selling something. They're always selling something. We have a reverse raffle. And it's the parents of the competition members. Carol Drennan was actually our booster president when Caitlin was dancing. And Rachel was our president when Megan was dancing. So they get very involved in raising money for the entry fees. The girls pay for their costumes themselves. And the travel is on the parents just drive themselves. But we do try to cover the entry fees through the booster club. It looks like a lot, but we really only go to five weekends because it's in a real concentrated. Our first one was January 26th, and we're done on April 10th. So it's a short period, and we try to go like every other weekend. So, but we work all year round, and then we'll have our local spotlight show March 27th at Lakeside High School, where we perform all of our dances, and we get a really good local crowd because people don't want to drive to Cincinnati. I don't know why. But I think you get to see all the routines that the girls do. So.
Well, Mary, since you've been doing this for so long, and your girls have been doing so well, when you guys walk into a competition, are your girls, can they walk in with their heads up, knowing that they're...
Yeah, they're the premier team. They're one of the premier teams right now. When we started in 1990, the first idea that I had to do a competition team, I saw an ad in a magazine, and I called and signed us up, and she said, well, don't you think you should go to some regionals first? I said, no. We went right to the final. So we go to Columbus. There's all these teams that are amazing. So I brought just my little group, with their big pom-poms, and I don't even think our outfits matched. It was bad. So we get there, and the first team goes on the floor, and they're incredible. And the girls look at me, and I said, well, they're not all going to be that good. Well, they were all that good. So they're all crying, and I get in the car, and I am so excited. I'm driving home, and I'm like, I am doing this. And my husband's like, you are not doing this. I said, yes, I'm doing this. He's like, you can't do this. I said, yeah, I'm going to do it. I just was so inspired. They called us the Fireflies and the Wildflowers and kind of made fun of us until we started beating them, which took about 4 years, and then we won our first place. My junior jazz routine with, I don't know if you guys know Katie Coppola, but she was the captain of that team. And we won first place, and all the other teams were looking, and they're like, who? And so that was when we first actually started winning, and then from that point on we just built to a point that now we usually win first. Sometimes we get second, but they do really, really well. So it's been exciting. They don't like to take second anymore, but you have to lose sometimes too.
So where do you think you'll be in 10 years?
Well, I have a grandson now, so the next chapter is starting. Yeah. I don't know. Donnie told me the other day that I have to work till I'm 65. I didn't know that. But he said, you have to get Social Security. You have to keep doing this until you're 65. I said, well, what if my knees don't hold out that long? So I don't have any plans of retiring. I know when my kids graduated from high school, there were all kinds of rumors. That's it. She's retiring, and I asked everybody, do you quit your job when your kids graduate from high school? But I don't have any plans.
What about the organization?
Wildfire? Yeah. Well, we just started the STARS program, so it continues to grow. I think the enrollment stays steady. Even through the economy, when it kind of dipped in 2008, 2009, my brother kept asking me if I saw a decline in enrollment, and we didn't. And that's because people will take away things for themselves, but they don't like to take away things for their kids. That means something for their kids. And we're pretty cheap. It's $40 a month, so it's affordable, which makes it an easy decision too. So yeah, I just want to keep doing what I'm doing. The STARS program, like I said, Kathy says, you're going to have 100 kids in this next year. Because like I said, we got double what we thought this year, and a lot of the kids have brought friends, and they're like, this one's doing it next year, and it's really been a positive thing for them. So it's all about impacting youth so that, they push themselves. My mother was, she was tough. One of my first reviews, and I started having reviews when I was 21 years old. I was having shows. And I still remember sitting there, things went wrong during the show, and a couple of the girls forgot their dance and start laughing. And right in the middle of the show, she leaned over to me and said, if you can't teach these kids better than this, you better hang it up. She could have waited till after the show. But that's how I was raised, and so that's how I coach. Sometimes the kids don't like it, but I think we live in a society where everybody has to win, and the parents don't, they don't want their kid to be hurt, and that's not life, Sometimes you're going to lose, and you have to know how to lose the right way, and you have to know just things about what's going to happen when you get out there in the world. I always tell them, they say, well, I forgot my pom-poms. And I said, well, when you go to work and you forget your briefcase, you're going to get fired. So there's life lessons. Yes?
I was just wondering, what is your opinion of these shows that are popping up on the cable station?
Oh, the Dance Moms?
And there's some new ones out now, I see.
My kids watch them a lot. I actually, Katie and I put one on the other night, and she said, I can't watch this. It's so fake. We don't have any. No, we don't have drama. For one thing, the parents don't come into the classroom. I don't think that happens in real life, but that's all for TV. It's entertaining though.
Hey, can I say something? Actually, it's such a nurturing family atmosphere that's one of the benefits of putting your child in Wildfire, because yeah, you travel a lot and you commit a lot of time, but that is valuable family time that when you look back on it, it really impacts your life and how you relate to your family and how you spend your time in such a positive atmosphere. So it's enhancing, if anything.
I agree. The time I spent with Kathy and all the other moms, not just my own family, but everyone else I consider family.
Lifelong friends.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Kathy, I'm sorry, you were the booster president too.
Well, thank you for pointing that
I'm
out.
sorry. I'm sorry I left you out of that rotation. Yeah, Kathy was also. So these girls know how to raise money, so. Yeah.
The other thing, Mary's right, she is a tough coach and it's why she has a quality team. But don't think there's a soft side to her, that when it's prom time and the girls are so excited, she sets time at the beginning to say, so they can all say what their dresses are, who they're going with, and then she says, okay, now we get down to work. So I know for my daughter, when she left, Mary was a friend to her. And if anything, she's a friend to those girls. And the one thing she missed when she left for college was Wildfire. And she was a cheerleader, she did soccer, she did lots and lots of things, but it was the dance and Wildfire and the family it is.
Well, the other thing that makes it a little bit unique is we have girls from 7 school districts that come in for this team. So they tell me that at school, there's a different dynamic, and they come here and it's more like their sisters because they don't have to be at school with them all day. So there's girls from Madison, Geneva, St. John's, Lakeside, Edgewood, Conneaut, and we used to have Northwestern too. So, but it's they come there and that's like their home, So it's more than dance to them. It's their social life. They tell me. which is good. Kids need to have that. So I didn't get any man questions. What do you guys have? No dance interest, you guys?
How many men do you have?
We actually do have. Bert, would you like to do your routine? At the end of our review every year, the fathers dance. So we call them the Wildfathers. And George Swartfigure is already bugging me about what this year's routine is going to be. So the dads do get involved too. The kids love that. You know, love that their dads are out there doing that for them. So all around, it's been a lot of fun. So thank you for having me. I know you all have things to do. I really enjoyed talking to you today, and let's get some warm weather, right?